Okay, this video is going to start off just getting straight to the point, starting off with these tests. So if you like this kind of thing, smack a like on this video, really helps me out. Subscribe and join the journey. And with that, let's just get started. So as you guys see, we're in game mode. We've got our input lag tester hooked up. I'm going to test it so you guys see that it's working. All right. So we're going to go ahead and clear this out. We don't need this anymore, right? And we're just going to start testing now. All right, hook up our input lag tester, and you guys can see it's in game mode right now, and we just gotta wait for it to kind of fall. It takes a while to register everything, but essentially 14.3 is where we are right now, 14.4, and I don't imagine it to change too much from that. That's in line with what we saw out of the Hisense H9G. So to see that here makes total and perfect sense. So here we are in game mode, as you guys can clearly see here, and I'm just going to show you guys a little of the differences that you can notice when you switch between game mode and the regular mode. Just kind of showing you guys, and just so you guys see in game mode that nothing was messed with. You see that game mode is selected right here, and these are the default values that come with the television. Nothing at all was adjusted or augmented to create a worse result or anything like that. This is literally just how it comes out of the box, day one. Literally nothing done at all. We can go through, I mean, I won't go through every color. I think just showing you guys can kind of get the point that nothing was done. It's a very stock, very default look, right? Okay. And of course we'll go to gamma calibration and show, yes, nothing was done on all the inputs. So yeah, you guys get the point. Nothing was done to make this TV look worse. This is just how it looks out of the box. Okay, and as you can see, there's a clear over green tinge to it. And I wanted to use this particular arena because in content like this is where the difference is going to be felt the most. So as you're there and you're playing Xbox Series X and you're maybe trying to get your combos together and you're having your fun, you're gonna kind of notice that this is what you're gonna be looking at. You're gonna be looking at overly green image quality, and you know, I don't know, it's one of those things that I feel could have been avoided. So now we're gonna show you what it looks like in the calibrated mode. So here we are with it calibrated up, and you guys can see more of what it looks like. Now, these are my custom settings. This is not the settings that come with the television. This is my theater day variant. If you guys wanted to see those settings or pick those up, join and become a member on this channel, and I'll be helping you guys get that image quality that you're looking for. But essentially, the story changes 360. Now it's, 360 is right back where we were, 180. You know, you can see a big difference as far as the clarity. You can see colors, the warmth in the colors are expressed properly. It's not all just one green pale looking color, and I think that's also extremely important when talking about fighting games in general, where, you know, this kind of stuff is very important. So I just kind of wanted to show that off. I also kind of wanted to show you guys that even in theater night, their version of a calibrated mode, it's still overly green, and you have a lot of like pale colors and things that don't look very good at all. And so the general out of the box look is truly less than exceptional. Again, you will have to put time, energy, effort, and work into this to make it look like something worth your time, in my personal view, because it's just really inaccurate, as you guys are seeing with all these pale, ugly colors. But switching to my calibrated night variation, you can see that those pale colors are gone. You see proper isolation between colors and hues, and you are able to see just how wonderful all of this can really end up being. And I think that is the real kind of scoop here. I mean, just look at it. It looks pretty darn solid. Now we're going to talk about the benefit of using something like theater night for gaming, opposed to just always staying in gaming and ignoring literally all the other modes that exist. Now, if you have a certain way you like to game, I'm not trying to tell you to do anything differently. I'm just trying to open your mind to be a little bit more creative and have more possibilities than just game mode all the time, because other modes can be quite playable, and that's what I want to show here today. Using a game like Mortal Kombat, where input lag is imperative, you want to make sure that you're not dropping combos and things like that. You guys probably saw a little bit, but I'm going to show you now theater night, and we're going to get rocking here. So right now, here we are, and I kind of want to show you guys some of the combos that you can pull off outside of game mode. Right now, I'm not in game mode, and here we go. Just going into it. That's 29% damage. We're gonna hit a reset and we're gonna start over again. See what I mean? You can catch him with cross-ups, you can catch him with hooks, you can basically do everything that you were doing with game mode on without any real problem, right? So I find that, like, you don't really, I accidentally pressed the screenshot button on the Series X. That's probably gonna be something that happens to a lot of people when they hit the D-pad. They end up misfiring and hitting the wrong button accidentally because your fingers are probably too long for the controller, but that's neither here nor there. But you guys see my point. Like, here I am just straight cooking on Sonya Blade right now, you know what I mean? Just absolutely cooking. And you can do stuff like this all day, every day on this TV, and it looks really good. Okay, so now let's show you guys what it looks like in game mode. All right, so here we are back in game mode. Just to show you guys again, nothing has been changed, okay, that's fine. So now we're gonna go in and show you guys the combos in game mode, okay? So we hit that reset. I've got a lot of clipping here, so I'm gonna lower my ISO to kind of fix some of that for you guys. Hopefully that does the trick. Okay, and now we're gonna get cooking. And it's basically the same, more or less. Oh, I'm actually dropping combos now that I'm in game mode. There we go, that's my 31% damage. I probably can convert it and get it higher. Boom, 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 grab her, pop her, hit her there, and 33, there we go. So you can definitely get some high damage combos in game mode, as you guys can see. I mean, whether you're in game mode, whether you're out of game mode, it kind of doesn't make a difference for games like this. Here we are with 4K at 120 Hz on Xbox Series X, running on the Hisense U7G 65-inch to be very specific. Doing this to show you guys the load times and also the FPS boost mode on the Xbox Series X with this particular title, Star Wars Battlefront II. And so we're just gonna jump right in with Luke with this classic farm boy skin, and we are going to get into it. So the thing that you'll notice as a reoccurring theme here is, I mean, the image quality is nice and everything. I mean, but it feels a lot like when you force 120 Hertz on the regular consoles like Xbox, you know, One S or maybe something different. Like the One X, it doesn't really feel obviously next gen. It just kind of feels like they're kind of playing a little bit when they talk about it. It's been optimized for Series X with this FPS boost mode, because I'm not noticing anything truly substantial or different about this experience versus when I force 120 Hertz using another method here. And what we can do is we can pause, we can bring up our main menu, we can go to Star Wars Battlefront 2, we can manage that game, and we can check compatibility, and you can see that the FPS boost is enabled. So it's not even like I'm just making this stuff up. It is in the 120 Hertz mode. It's just, I don't know, I'm not impressed with it, if I'm being completely honest with you, because I truly don't believe for a second that there is any real difference between the 120 Hertz that they're offering as like a so-called quotation mark boost over you just going in and being able to force 120 Hertz yourself at the console level. I truly don't see any difference. And I don't really understand why they are trying to make it sound like it's more than it actually is. I haven't really noticed anything different, like in the slightest at all. And I've played this game many times on PC. I've played it on console. There we go. Now we got bad guys here. I just haven't noticed where there's such a difference in the responsiveness. So I think the takeaway here is the Hisense U7G runs it beautifully. You won't have any problems with 4K 120 Hertz. As you guys can see, it's fine. It's just, I don't know, I'm just not seeing, obviously from the console perspective, I guess, as to how it's going to, I don't know, be better than if you were to force it at the console level with 120 Hertz, then, you know, waiting for a game to get boosted. But again, that's just this particular title. There are other titles to test. So we're now going to move over to another game and example, because this is definitely one of the more underwhelming ones if you were looking forward to this. So yeah, just kind of wanted to put that out there. So now we're going to test HDR, and we're going to do so the best I can possibly show you guys. Now we have FreeSync enabled as well. I'm going to show you guys FreeSync works. Not only does FreeSync work, but then we go up at the tippy top here in HDR game mode, and you can see local dimming also is on. It does work, and you can change it to high or whatever you want. So local dimming works in game mode with variable refresh rate and HDR. So if you hear from anyone else that that's not the case on a Hisense television, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe they don't know what they're doing, or maybe they have to look at some things that are different. But I did want to show that off because I've run into that misinformation before when talking about the Hisense H9G. So to prevent that level of misinformation from spawning again, I wanted to kind of bring that to light. Now that you guys see that we do have game mode on, we are in HDR and we are in VRR. We go down to the very bottom here, and that's selected. Now that you guys see all that, you guys know 4K 120 top left hand corner, HDR10 pops up, the EDID checks out, we're good. All that housekeeping out of the way. Now we're going to talk about the experience when doing that. I won't be too cliche and go back to my Luke with the farm boy skin. Love that, but I'm not going to do that. And we're going to go into Obi-Wan. Now, before I get started with gameplay, I want to show you guys something. Out of the box is basically what I have all of this set to, by the way, these HDR picture modes, and they don't look good at all. I'm finding that they look a little tough. They're a little rough around the edges. You're gonna need to put some work into them for sure. There's energy saving. There's HDR standard. There's vivid, which is just overly cool. Sports mode. There's theater mode, which is a little better on the skin tonality, but by a very little bit. Then there's filmmaker mode. Again, not impressed. Now, one thing I'm curious about, just for me, I don't know if you can. I'm going to go to the bottom. Yes, you have, what is that? You have FreeSync on with your HDR in filmmaker mode, so that's also good to know. And again, for anybody wondering, again, local dimming is fully operational there. But what we'll do, we'll go back to game mode. IMAX enhanced mode, by the way, locks out everything. You can't do anything to IMAX enhanced mode. It's the biggest disappointment, I think, in a picture preset that I've seen. So yeah, it's a complete dud mode in my personal opinion, because literally you can't change a single thing about it. Like, why even include it if it's just baked in? I don't know. This is perfect, by the way, for purists that just want to use 50 contrast, 50 color, 50 brightness. Everything's on default levels, 0 sharpness, and you can't change anything. No picture processing. This is your mode. Rock out with IMAX Enhanced. There you go. You have your purist mode, so shut up. You know, that's what I would say to anybody who says, oh, it needs to be reference accurate, it has to be. There you go. They gave you a mode, literally a mode that didn't have to be so neutered and gutted. And it's IMAX Enhanced mode. It's more gutted than the filmmaker mode. So, you know, that's, you know, if you can't tell, I feel a type of way, because I've seen how Sony does IMAX Enhanced mode, and it's way better than this. But the way Hisense is doing it here, I think it definitely needs some revision, because that is not ideal. IMAX Enhanced modes should be capable of so much more. But I'll digress from that point and just go into HDR game and make sure all of our settings are good. As you guys see, again, we're good here. And we're even rocking native color space, because that's how it is out by default. And it just doesn't look great. So I will have to calibrate this. I haven't had the chance to do that yet. So naturally some work needs to be done. But we're going to start running around here with our super washed out colors. Good God, it's ugly. Oh man, I like ran right by this guy because of how ugly everything looks. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put some work into HDR. This is not that slice. No es bueno. Get out of here. What are you doing? All right, so we're just running through, zipping. And one of the things is, you know, I mean, honestly, I truly do not feel like the 120 hertz in Star Wars Battlefront is any different from when you just go on and force 120 hertz on something like the Xbox, you know, One S even. As I was saying before, it doesn't feel like a true generational leap forward in that aspect. It just feels like kind of like the same old, same old. Let's find more guys to cut down. Boom. Get out of here. Oh, I can run through and cut all of you. This is so dope though. It's fun. This game is so much fun when you do the onslaught mode. A lot of people like playing online. I'm not an online player. I absolutely hate all this smack talking and, you know, nonsense that goes along with that. It's just so ridiculous. It's like I just come to have fun, and so many people want to ruin your fun, so I just don't even mess with online modes. But as you guys can clearly see, it is responsive. The Hisense is doing a good job of delivering its 120 hertz representation. I don't have any problems. I don't have any ghosting at all. I'm not seeing anything right now. I'll try to go to like maybe like a quiet little corner and really try to pan to see if I see anything, and I don't see anything. There's literally no ghosting right now. So it's weird because like I noticed like in some parts of Star Wars Battlefront II, I did see ghosting and just like SDR. So I don't know. It might be like one of those things where sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. But I was really looking for it too. And I'm like really looking for it now. And do I see any ghosting? I really don't. I'm just like letting this guy like totally just shoot me. But like, no, like not noticing any ghosting or anything. A side note here for you gamers out there, if you ever played a game named Ashra's Wrath, it's freaking incredible. I actually never played that game. I just kind of was messing around and kind of bumped into it accidentally because, you know, now we have to play old games on Xbox. And I had the chance to play a little bit of it. And boy, let me tell you, that's one of the best games I've ever played. It's an actually true masterpiece that is so underrated. You don't hear about that game anywhere near as much as you should, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'll be playing a lot of that game, especially up on PC. You know, but it is what it is. All right, so we're in a little corner here, and do I see any ghosting? No, no ghosting. And I mean, and I'm really trying to see this ghosting. Now we're on a white wall where we should be able to see it. Any ghosting? No, I don't have any ghosting. So yeah, no, there's no ghosting per se in 120 hertz. It's just, it depends on sometimes you may see it, sometimes you may not. It's really weird. I saw it once, but I couldn't replicate it after that one time. So I don't know, some people and their mileage may vary for sure, but I just kind of wanted to show this off for you guys so you can see 4K, 120 hertz and all that good stuff. You know, this TV is definitely a great TV for those who are gamers and looking to get that 120 hertz and not break the bank, get a nice big TV size. You know what I'm saying? 65 inches for $1,000, like that's great. Hell, the 75 inch is only going for like $15.99. That's incredible. And you still have this awesome picture quality here. So I think, again, a lot of people will be very happy to have a TV like this. It makes the most amount of sense. It really does. So as I look around, remote's falling, try to find, I mean, I'm looking for like flaws and hiccups in the performance, and it's just bang on. It's great. I'm not having any issues. And I think we can just stop the video there because I think that pretty much shows everything. You got to see SDR in game mode and outside of game mode. See it's still responsive outside of game mode. You guys got to see that the HDR 4K 120 with VRR is functional and it does work with local dimming. And honestly speaking, you guys are seeing the input lag is pretty responsive as well. So again, all things considered, I think this is again one of the stronger TVs in 2021. For the budget market for sure. For gamers, it's pretty much the only thing in its price range that is this well balanced. And I think, like I was saying in my preliminary thoughts, I think you'd be a fool not to, because it really is doing a lot here.